大家好，我是爆边。大家可以看得出来，我们在好莱坞，太兴奋了！这是爆边第3年来第一次踏进美国。离上一次呢，我来洛杉矶也已经有3年的时间了。上一次我昨天很努力的在回想，说我上一次来洛杉矶是哪一部片？既然是《Sonic 音速小子》第1集，它都出第2集了。我们这次呢，就是要来看《巴比伦》这部片，好期待，好期待，好期待！但是呢，好事多磨，听说放映设备有点问题，所以我们今天的试片会晚半个小时。所以3个小时9分钟的片长，我们要一路看到10点。明天早上9点要起来访问，有点惊。不过呢，还是很期待，包括玛格罗比啦、布莱德彼特啊，当然还有越来越爱你的导演，这些呢，全部都是让别人非常非常期待这部片到底会有什么样爆炸性的火花嘞。等等看试片咯。现在时间是6点43分，还没有开始。来介绍一下美国戏院的椅子好了，看这边有按钮，看我的脚，看得到吗？自得其乐。就这样看电影很舒服哎。台湾的每一个厅可不可以都这样？这样子我就不会歪七扭八坐了。大家早安，我们现在要去做 Babylon 的访问咯。这次访问有一个很特别的地方，就是应该算是好莱坞的新的 protocol， 就是我们要先去做快筛，要是阳性怎么办？就不用做了，直接回家。好显示阴性的，我真的太开心了。这2天因为洛杉矶很冷，然后本来还怕说，你看后面很漂亮，本来还怕说就是有点流鼻水，但是因为就是天气太冷的关系 ，yes， 可以做访问了。Mark. Anyone from Popcorn Movies Taiwan, Yahoo. And this is actually my first Hollywood interview in 3 years.
Oh my god!
Thank you very much for bringing me here.
I'm honored. I'm honored to bring you back.
Yeah! Party time, Margot! 这是一个疯狂的年代，也是好莱坞从无声走向有声的跨时代。
And camera and sound.
越来越爱你拉拉链金奖导演 Damien Chazelle 酝酿15年的最新作品 Babylon， 透过6位主要人物的不同际遇，交织出好莱坞20到30年代从无声电影转变到有声的巨大变化。从角色、故事、剧情、摄影、音乐、美术，都是他最有野心的一部。从开场一镜到底的 party 到戏中戏的大场面战争 ，Damien 坚持实景实拍，整部电影光有台词的角色就超过100位，临时演员700多人，戏服更多达7000套，光一刷真的细节看不完呐。
Hi, boys.
玛格罗比这回演出勇敢追求明星梦的女主角，在 Damien 打造下疯狂、美艳、抢戏，无所不用其极，被视为金奖女主角大热门。And I must give you a big fat round applause, not only for the nomination performance, but taking us with you for the roller coaster ride with Nelly. And I heard that you got a lot of applause on set, especially when you were rapping the dancing scene for 2 days.
Yeah, that was a pretty special moment. We were all so in it. When people see this movie, you're going to see the most insane party sequence you've ever seen, and it goes for so long and so much happens. It's just madness, and that's how the movie begins. So it only gets more crazy from there. But I do this huge dance sequence, and it was such a technically difficult scene to pull off with a oneer and so many different elements with cast coming in, and you know, a chicken stealing someone's bag of Coke, and Gene Smart's being introduced, and you know, someone's overdosing there, and there's a million things happening at once. so I kept doing the dance again and again, and had huge amount of support from the other dancers around me and the rest of the crew and the background artists and everything. And then, yeah, by the time Damien's like, okay, we got it, we don't need to do the dance again, everyone cheered. And there were many moments like that on Babylon, though, where you had this huge scene that everyone knew was going to be so hard to pull off, and then the minute you did, everyone just like screamed, and we'd come together and hug, and it was an unusual set, this one. It really felt different. The energy was high. Everyone knew what we were trying to accomplish was so ambitious and insane that it kind of felt like, are they really going to let us do this? So when we did it, we were all so excited.
When I studied all the articles about you, you kept amazed me. Like, you always work with a movement coach to find the inspiration for your character physically. And this one is what a beautiful octopus. Yes. And a crazy honey badger.
Yes. I know that sounds insane, but I find the animals so helpful. And yeah, if you watch Nellie, it's like sometimes she's fluid like an octopus and playful and very tactile, and sometimes she's just solid and ready for a fight like a honey badger. So there's method to the madness.
Do you still remember your first ever experience on a movie set?
Yeah, I did like a tiny micro budget indie film back in Australia when I was 16, I think. It was like one camera, a few crew members, like barely any equipment whatsoever. No one was getting paid. It was just one of those things where you'll like roll up your sleeves and try and make something. And every set I've been on, whether it's been as a micro budget indie or an unpaid work or a huge Hollywood blockbuster or comic book film, it's magical no matter what size you're doing it. It's the most magical place to be.
Nellie is always like level 10 character, maybe 12 or 34.
Yeah, she doesn't seem to have a limit, yeah.
Yes, but it wasn't easy for you to shake it off, and you are in time with her all days and for 4 months. And so how did you finally relax every day after shooting?
I didn't. I couldn't. I had to stay in Nellie mode. You know, like if you're doing, I don't know if you find this, but when I do a film, it's like you work so hard on the film, and then as soon as the film finishes, it's like your body knows that it's allowed to get sick now, so then you get sick at the end of every job. It's kind of like that with Nellie. I was like, if I stop being Nellie, if I stop the Nellie energy, even just on weekends, when I have weekends off, I might not be able to get her back again. So I just kept the Nellie energy up for the whole 4 months and
party
on the weekends, like always something, anything, even if it was just calling friends being like, I just need a crowd of people at home. Like I need all 10 of you to come over and we're gonna play cards, or like, you know.
And you invite Diego to your house,
yeah,
right?
Diego and I lived together for a little while, for a couple of weeks there. So yeah, I'm not good at being alone anyway. I love having people around, but Nellie needs a lot of people and a lot of stimulation. So I kept the energy up.
So what did you do after you finally wrapping the film?
Oh, I got so sick. Yeah, I was completely broken by the end of it. Yeah, that was bound to happen. It was fine. I actually had to move out of my house 3 hours after wrapping, so that was even more exhausting than playing Nellie, I feel like. But yeah, it was all fine.
Her unscripted kissing scene with Brad?
Oh yeah. Yes, that was. Well, you know, Margot was very adamant that, you know, come on, I can't do another movie with Brad Pitt and we don't kiss. So what the, you know, what the hell? We got it. So, you know, no, to be fair, I actually think I first proposed the idea to her, but she certainly didn't say no. And it was...
So that was your idea?
I think so, yeah. Or actually, to be honest, it might have even been my wife's, who's the producer on the film. It was just like, come on, wouldn't that be a great moment? Nellie Leroy. It felt very much true to Margot's character, that she would just show up and go straight for the kiss in front of, you know, the character's fiance, and just, you know, that it felt like a moment we couldn't pass up. So we did a few takes without it, a few takes with it. Obviously, the take with it is what's in the movie.
相较于马格的角色出身之毒不畏虎，布莱德彼特则是饰演在默片时期红透半边天的超级偶像，帅到不行又让人心碎不已的演出，最佳男配角指标人选当之无愧。
Of course, we must talk about Brad Pitt. He's very different in this movie, and I like you got him a lot of close-up. Let us to read some of maybe some of emotions in his looks. And I love the back of the silhouette. That really broke my heart.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Well, Brad and I talked a lot about this idea of grace, that this character he was playing was, you know, in many ways thought of himself as a gentleman, and there was a certain code to that, and that meant that, you know, once you face defeat, whatever that might mean, you face it with grace. You know, you accept it with a certain amount of dignity, and I think that's sort of the struggle that his character sort of faces. That he comes face to face with his own mortality, his own limits, which is hard for someone who's used to being king for so long. And at first he wants to sort of fight it, but I think there's, you know, there's this sort of inner compass in him that he falls back on that, I guess, yeah, I would say just sort of is one of facing something like that with grace. And that was the whole idea behind, for instance, that sort of shot where we follow him down the hallway, you know, that this was someone who was always going to be sort of moving through life like a legato dancer to a certain extent. And there had to be that musicality and that kind of sophistication and that kind of timeless grace to everything he did, even his last moments.
I like that not a single word, but stays thousands of words.
Yeah, well, that's the kind of cinema I think maybe it's why I love silent cinema. Kind of cinema I love the most, you know, is where dialogue, language, everything can sort of fall away and you sort of live in the purity of images and music, or images and sound.
而一定要和大家大推的是来自墨西哥的 Diego Calva， 他和戏中角色一样，好莱坞初来乍到，第一次演大片就让人一眼爱上，更有望一举问鼎小金人影帝，不得了。
I must thank you for casting Diego. He really had me at the very first moment he entered the screen. And what was the most incredible wow moment of Diego?
Well, I think just sort of watching Diego rise to the challenge was this kind of amazing thing, because when I first met Diego, you know, he had never done a movie in America, he had never done a movie in English, he had never done a big movie of any kind. He had just done these smaller independent films, just a few of them, where he lived in Mexico. And so, you know, to have him come to LA for the first time in his life, to have him sort of acting alongside people like Margot Robbie and Brad Pitt, I think initially I'd been worried that he would just, you know, sort of freeze up and choke. I think I would if I were in his shoes. And yet it was the opposite. He just thrived and rose to the challenge, and it was this kind of electric, amazing thing to see, this sort of new face on screen alongside these big stars, just sort of playing ball with them in this kind of magical way. It felt like watching great athletes or great musicians together on screen, and it didn't matter who was known or who wasn't. And that was just sort of this continual, I think, pleasant surprise for me during the whole course of the shoot.
And now, Miss Lady Fei Zhu.
不只是主角有戏 ，Babylon 连配角都让人印象深刻。李丽君和甲方艾德坡就是会让人哇的惊叹号。
Congratulations for the impressive performance of you.
Thank you.
And Li Jun, I must say you made such a grand entrance on the very first thing, and every entrance, I must say. But was it easy to shoot that singing scene with all the beautiful lights, smoke, everything?
Is it easy? I think with Damien, it was important to him that we had plenty of rehearsals, so that by the time, and I felt like, you know, I always bring this up, you know, I got to perform on stage, which is where I kind of began my career in the industry. And it's, you know, to have the luxury and the time to rehearse so much before you actually go up there really helped me be comfortable. And so it was much better that way. I prefer a nice rehearsal.
I'm so touched and moved by your performance, and I love the shot of your close-up, tears in your eyes. And there were all kind of feelings of that. So was that the toughest thing you ever done in this movie?
In this movie, for sure, that was definitely the most challenging, just because I wasn't expecting to feel the shame that I think Sydney was feeling in that moment. Of course, you read it and it's on the page, and you kind of know how you need to prepare for that, but I just wasn't ready to feel the same level of like embarrassment of having to do that, especially because some of our background artists who were in the band with me didn't get the script, so they didn't know that I was going to be doing that or going to be subjected to that for the character. So it was kind of really interesting to kind of feel them witnessing what was going on, and not having the context and just trying to, you know, stay in it, but it was definitely challenging, but it was also necessary because that actually happened in this industry early, especially in that era, and it was important to represent and showcase what some of the artists of color had to do to reach a certain level of success.
And some of your scenes remind me of In the Mood of Love that
Funny you say that because that's Damien's inspiration.
Really? Yes.
Yeah. It was one of our first emails when he sent me his mood board, and when I saw that it was In the Mood for Love, I was so excited. I fell off the chair. I said, it's one of my favorite films too. But I'm glad you picked that up.
So how about the costume? The very tight and beautiful 旗袍, very yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Really uncomfortable to find a snake in. Could not sit down. But yeah, I felt bad. It was, handmade of silk, and we didn't have a double for it because of how unique the patterns were. And, when I was on the sand and doing all that, things were being worn out, and I was just dying a little inside.
What was the most wow moment of Damien to you on or off set?
Well, all the chaos, I think, that was going on in the film, I was really surprised at how he was able to keep everyone focused, especially in the party scenes, because there were so many background artists on set,
yeah.
and there's just a lot of people to control and keep all on one accord to make the scene work. And it was fun. It was interesting how he was able to we had speakers set up in the theater, so he would play music to keep the vibe up and vibrant and fun. But then when it was time to kind of wrangle and reel it back in and get on cue, he's like, all right guys, let's do it. Cut the music, camera set up, and let's get to it. So it was just wild to kind of just see how quickly the transitions happened.
His ability to run such a tight ship.
Yeah, with all that chaos, it's like,
yeah.
Directors, whew,
Yeah.
it's a tough gig.
Cut.
Dude, what's your name? Tim, you're fired.
What? You heard her, get off this set!
Can you please finally say hi to Taiwan and tell all the fans there why they should see Babylon in the biggest movie theater in Chinese New Year?
Oh, man.
Okay.
So hello, Taiwan.
Hello, Taiwan. We hope that you will see Babylon in the theaters in Chinese New Year.
Absolutely. It's a labor of love from all of the artists included, and then it's a film about making film.
恭喜发财。
新年快乐。
新年快乐。
Should I stick to
to the camera?
Okay, yeah. Hi to everyone in Taiwan. I'm so excited for you to see Babylon on the biggest screen possible in the Chinese New Year. I made it for the big screen. I wanted it to feel like a total roller coaster ride, immersive experience for an audience, so that you go into this world and you come out of it feeling like a different person. It's experiential, it's a rush, it's a ride. So I'm really excited for you guys to experience it, and hope you all love it.
Hi everyone in Taiwan, I'm so excited for you to see our film Babylon. It is a blast and a great way to spend your Chinese New Year.
Hey, my grand.
Hope you all love it.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck for all. Yes. For the upcoming awards.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Looking forward to all your work
Thank
in the
you.
future.
I'm glad you're out and allowed, moving around again. Thank goodness.
Thank you.
各位朋友，我们做完了好莱坞3年来的第一个访问了，好开心！而且呢，边是从玛格罗比开始的，边是从玛格罗比开始的，所以呢，我这个 Junkie 的幸运年应该就是从这里开始了。今天呢，访问了玛格罗比，然后导演 Damien， 他好可爱哦，我觉得他很像学生而已耶。然后玛格罗比，我觉得他也很就是，虽然他在电影里面那么的疯狂，每一部电影里面都那么的疯狂，但是他本人感觉好像一个邻家小女孩哦，所以他整个 演戏的那个爆发力真的超级强的，然后他穿一个绿色的洋装，看起来就像学生一样，好可爱。我看起来好，算了，成熟。大家一定要去戏院里面体会整个音乐啊，整个美术啊，整个服装啊，整个剧情，都在的向好莱坞的经典致敬。那我觉得这是一部很难用3言2语来形容的一部电影。 那当然就是要请大家自己去戏院体会，不管是玛格罗比的表演啊、布莱德彼特啊，或者是导演他的风格呢，都非常非常的强烈。但还有一定要跟大家介绍的是 Diego， 我跟你讲，我真的换一只手拿。我真的有点难过，因为我看完电影以后，我好爱他，就跟我在访问里面跟导演说的一样，真的，他第一幕出现在荧幕上的时候，我就已经 fall in love with him 了，很容易见异思迁的道边，就他真的就是很迷人，然后他那种出生之犊到好莱坞，然后带着我们一起走进好莱坞这个大观园，看好莱坞整个风景的那种各种 crazy 的事情，各种crazy 的 party， 各种 crazy 的事情，各种 crazy 的演员，各种的情境，都是从他的眼睛带我们进入了这场冒险的感觉。所以我觉得他的角色我非常非常喜欢，然后他的演出也非常非常喜欢。可是呢，一定要跟大家讲，今天的访问本来是他和玛格罗比一起配耳的，但是听说他身体不舒服，所以呢，今天就改成只有玛格罗比。我觉得这样有好也有坏，因为我本来一开始就想说他们两个，因为他们两个对戏很多，想说他们两个可以有很多的火花，然后打起答案来应该也蛮有趣的。那一方面也会觉得很可惜说啊，他们两个其实个别都有很多问题可以问，结果呢，就在昨天收到这个通知说 Diego 不能来的时候，我也是觉得啊，有点心碎，想说好啦，就是可以好好的问玛格罗比，但是呢，也觉得啊没有办法跟 Diego 做到他第一部好莱坞大片的访问，觉得有点可惜。不过呢，我们明天的首映会有机会，希望有机会可以在红毯上访问到他。那今天呢，还有一个很特别，就是我们呢，就是刚刚看到包边手上画押留下证据，有没有？我也有演巴比伦，大家一定要继续看哦。啊，对，后面那个小小的这里，哎，怎么画圈圈？这里这是好莱坞的标志，所以硬在那边等这个窗台。刚刚大家都在这个窗台，就是发表感想，然后我就硬要在这个窗台等这个窗台等超久，然后我都已经吃完一顿午餐了，好饱。忘了跟大家说，这次还有A 了不少，没有啦，这个实在太难带了，所以呢，就是幸运的爆小粉，还有参与募资订阅的爆小粉，会有更多机会可以获得这个厉害的 Babylon 的杯子，台湾可是没有的哟。诱惑大家，请大家真的是要资助我们的爆米花，因为我们其实是就是没有老板没有薪水，我们就凭一个热情在做，所以呢真的很需要大家的金援跟支持，让爆米花可以延续下去。所以呢这个杯子呢就送给所有的爆小粉来参加抽奖咯，好开心哦，终于又有从国外来的独家赠品要送给大家了。但重点就是这要怎么带回去有点难。好，我们有来了泡泡纸，但希望回台湾还是完整的。如果完整的就送大家，如果破的话就如同爆边破碎的心。大家请多多帮我们分享影片，然后看超过1000次、1万次的点阅，拜托大家了。爆米花看电影就在巴比伦的全球首映会现场。
Hi everyone in Taiwan.
Another movie with Brad Pitt and we don't kiss, so